Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about bias in observational studies, and specifically, we're mostly talking about surveys here. A sampling method is considered biased if it systematically favors certain outcomes. So this means that the results that you get aren't necessarily representative of the entire population. This does not have to be done intentionally. A lot of top research firms are trying very hard to reduce their bias, but they still get biased, and they just keep working to try to make it more representative. And I'm going to go through a list of a few different ways we see biased observational studies. One way is a voluntary response bias, where people get to choose themselves to respond to the survey. One example of this is TV news shows. For instance, on MSNBC or maybe Fox Network, Bill O'Reilly shows, something like that, you can see that people ask a poll, whether it's online or telephone call-ins, and they might ask about how you perceive Obama's presidency. And only people that are very passionate, um, one way or the other, are typically going to call into a survey like that. And so you don't get a response that represents the full population of their viewers or the American public. Now, a convenience sampling is choosing just people that are easiest to reach. For instance, if I went on Facebook and ask people about a new shirt that I got, uh, I won't get a representative of the whole population. I'm just going to find how some of my friends feel about my shirt. So this would be considered convenience sampling. Now, undercoverage is a big problem where a population is left out of the process in choosing a sample. One example would be surveying homes during the middle of the day, and that leaves out people who are working during the day. You might have the same problem when you survey homes at night. You're going to leave out people who work at night. Or if you there's sometimes where they use like phone numbers, and if somebody doesn't have a phone number, they're left out of the survey. So we want to make sure we cover everybody in the population, or else it won't be representative. Non-response is a survey in which an individual chosen for the sample does not respond. So there's mail-in surveys. When my son Charlie broke his leg, about 2 weeks after he got home, we got a survey in the mail about our how we felt about the hospital, and and some people will send those in, and some people won't send those in, and it might not be representative of the whole population. If you send out 2,000 letters and get 7 of them, you don't know if it's just 7 of the most passionate people, 7 people who have connections at the hospital. It doesn't give you a good indication of what is happening. Now, this is another big one, response bias. Response bias is when the behavior of the interviewer or the respondent affects the response. One example is when women are asking questions about women's rights in the workplace. And you could do the same thing if it was just men asking questions about women in the workplace. Um, there might be some tendency of the respondent to change their answer based on the interviewer. And it could be even more subtle, such as when somebody is asking the question, prodding them, um, saying, uh-huh, good, affirming their answers, and sometimes the respondent just wants to please the interviewer. Another type is a wording of question bias, because some questions are just poorly worded or confusing, and that can dramatically change and affect the answers, such as this one. Agree or disagree? I don't support stopping the construction of the Keystone Pipeline. Whenever you use negations like this, and like I don't support stopping, some people might see this and just not see the stopping, and they say I don't support the Keystone Pipeline, and that's the opposite of what you want. Or they might just read it, I support stopping the construction of the Keystone Pipeline, and that's the opposite of what they want. And then they're agreeing or disagreeing. So if they're disagreeing that they don't support stopping, and it just gets confusing for people. And so if you hand out the survey, you don't know exactly if the results are are what the people actually feel. All right, so this is the end of the video. Hopefully you can do the on your